Welcome, Melissa. I'm so glad you're with us to talk a little bit about your background and your coaching abilities. So, how did you get and why are you so passionate about coaching?
Sure. I'm passionate about coaching because I sincerely love helping others get closer and closer to reaching their goals and their dreams. So not only their aspirations to getting into their dream business school, but also helping them get closer to their next professional endeavor. So, but more importantly, like I love coaching because the MBA process is so introspective for each candidate. And so even before they get started on the process, they don't even know what an eye-opening experience the MBA application process will be for them. So to me, it's amazing how so many successful people spend time, working and achieving, but so little time in their own inner space. So the MBA process gives people a chance to take a step back and explore that. So my role is getting to know people deeply, intimately, and ask them about themselves, and not just professionally but personally too. So I try to go back, back in their past, way back, and help them identify themes in their life, the themes that they may not have even noticed, and I get them to identify inspirational people in their life that they may not have even realized. And we talk about hardships and defining moments in your life, where candidates get to look back on their lives and say things like, well, wow, oh, I did this, or wow, I never realized I had this theme in my life, or wow, I didn't realize that it was this that was driving me the whole time. So I get a lot of fulfillment when people reach those moments. And finally, yeah, I love coaching because during or either at the end of the process, I love witnessing people feeling more in tune to themselves and more aware of themselves and being mindful of their journey to date, which in turn really helps them figure out not only their goals, but their life's purpose. So the MBA often comes at a pivotal time in an individual's life. And what I've seen over the years is that it often redefines or defines a candidate's future in sometimes surprising and exciting ways.
What do you think is your coaching superpower? Something that you're really able to bring to the students that you work with?
Okay, well, I've been told by multiple candidates that I can come across as more passionate about their MBA application than they do. So I guess by
That's
me being
great.
passionate about their MBA journey, I give people the confidence that they really do have the potential to get into their dream business school. So I'm often very inspired by my clients, and their future potential motivates me to push the candidate for more insight, more coherent storyline. So I like to dig deep, and inquire about their past stories and experiences, and I can really help the candidates piece together these stories and choose the best stories, most impactful stories that I really feel would stand out to the admissions committees. So I tend to kind of bury myself in a candidate's life, not just the application, and can somewhat obsess over their achievements and think about how they can be effectively communicated to the admissions committees.
Well, I can attest to that because I've worked with you on some students together, and you really get to know them, and you're like,
Yeah,
like an archaeologist almost, getting really deep into the
yeah,
life story and what they're bringing to the
yeah,
communities that they
absolutely.
want to join. So, Melissa, I know you've had so many great stories about working with students. Are there some, successful, unsuccessful, but just stories that you felt were particularly impactful journeys?
Yeah, for sure. So one of my favorite client success stories, and this has happened to me actually more than once, is when this person admitted to me that originally he was shopping around for admissions consulting companies, and two of them had said that he wouldn't stand a chance at his target school. So, of course, he felt disappointed, discouraged, and I really felt for him because it must have been so demotivating and dream crushing. So after talking at length with him, getting to know him, and I totally disagreed with those other consultancies. So sure, he had some weaknesses, but I helped him see otherwise and identified his strengths, and helped him dig up stories about his life that I think would impress the admissions committee, stories that he thought were totally irrelevant for the application process. So not only was he admitted to his dream school, one of the most competitive programs, but also received a scholarship. So
Ah,
I love helping people find their true potential and reminding them how amazing they are, especially when someone else told them otherwise.
and to have that support is so pivotal. To have somebody that really believes in your ability and in your strength
Hmm.
is can be life changing, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I'm curious about a piece of advice of over the years that you've shared with a student that you felt, your favorite piece of advice, your top piece of advice, something that you think, a student could take away from working with you.
I guess more so in terms of, but I guess my best piece of advice for an MBA applicant is to kind of put your shoes, like you put yourself in the admissions committee shoes. So imagine that you're reviewing hundreds of applications. So what do you think would make you stand out from the crowd? So especially if you have a more typical profile, let's say in investment banking or consulting, for example, what makes you different from the next consultant? What have you done differently at work? Do you step up to the plate? You take on new tasks outside of your general scope? And maybe you have a startup on the side, or you're thinking about one. Do you have any strange quirks or funny stories to share? Make the admissions committees laugh. That's okay too. What kinds of clubs or sports or volunteering have you engaged in? Even if it was in your past,
Right.
and even if it wasn't an established organization. So leave something with the admissions committee that will make you worth remembering.
I love that piece of advice. Think about how the admissions officers are looking at you. I think that's terrific. So, other things, something else about your background that you would like to share with students that are listening and watching this?
Sure. I guess I could share a little bit about myself. So, having lived all over the world, fortunately from France to Switzerland, Sweden, Malaysia, now I'm in Canada, worked and traveled all over the world. So I have a lot of experience abroad, clearly, as well as a genuine interest in other parts of the world. And so I think because of this kind of openness to diversity, it's really helped my work with Fortuna, since I work with people from all over the world. And that said, I've been with Fortuna since it was founded. So I've been coaching for many years on all the top business schools, whether in the US or in Europe. I've worked with people from every type of background, and everyone truly has a great story to tell, whether they know it or not at the beginning. And so the biggest joy for me is hearing from people when they get admitted to their dream school. So, I really do feel like I have helped make their dreams come true. So I often can keep in touch with those that I work with. So for example, a few times people have sent me a picture of them when they arrive on campus, and the campus logo will be behind them.
Oh,
they send it and
great.
saying, like, I'm here, I did it, thank you so much. So I get so much satisfaction out of those moments, and I'm so happy that I could be a part of that journey of making someone's dream a reality.
I love that idea. We should tell our students to do that, wherever
Yeah,
they end up, but they should all send us pictures. We could do a photo collage.
yeah, that'd be great.
So, Melissa, I know that you're based out in Western Canada, in Vancouver. What's your favorite thing to do in Vancouver?
So I'm pretty new to the West Coast, and I had no idea how amazing it would be out here. I'm absolutely loving it. I feel like I will stay here for a while. So close to the ocean and to the mountains. So now I'm an avid hiker, biker, jogger, through the forests and mountains, weekly. And I feel like if I can't get into nature every few days, I feel totally uneasy. So it's nature is my true release.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been such a pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to
Welcome.
seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.